All right, so in this video here, we're going to go over how to solve all 7 vaults in the new PvE mode. I mean, it works in normal cryo, but for people who are starting in PvE, I'm going to show you guys the routes that I take that's efficient and that feels pretty good. Everything I'm showing in this will be solo, but of course with trios should be technically much easier to do. Don't need to copy exactly everything I'm doing, but of course everything is random. So the spawn I spawn in is gonna be random. The secure clearance tags on the floor will be random. The computers will be random. The batteries will be random, but they're in set spawns, so they're not gonna be there every single run. But if you remember the spawns of where they are usually, you have a good chance to find them there. Of course, you could use the scanner to find the batteries much easier, but I like to just memorize the spots and then just go on with that. Okay, so when you're in the first room, if you know each room, there is going to be computers sometimes there will be computers in each of these areas that you can go ahead and claim. Of course, if you have the upgrade of a spawn of 2 security tags, that's very useful, of course, or 2 batteries as well. That's help as well. Okay, so we're playing assassin because we can just skip ahead and not worry about killing the commanders. It saves a lot of time to just skip the commanders, skip everything, and not waste ammo and not waste resources. So that's why we were playing assassin or void, to skip all that. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you guys the route I take, usually exiting into control. So of course this is going to be different for everybody, but you can see we are leaving this area, and then we just luckily found a computer here. This is +3, found a battery over here. And usually in this area, which is cargo, if you go through this vent right here, which costs 2 clearance, there's a battery usually in this corner. I can't say 100%, but most of the time there is a battery there. Okay, and a scanner as well. Very useful. So just to let you know, in cargo, if you do get clearance too somehow early on before leaving that room, you can do that. So now we're going to be heading into control. This hallway, I'll always check this hallway because there's always a battery there. Not always, most of the time a battery there. I always check this low hole over here, nothing there. And the thing about batteries, you'd be a little bit close to it, and then eventually it'll pop up on your screen, so you can just memorize the spots and get a little bit close to it. So here's control. What I do for control, I like to do a full circle around the map. So because there could be computers down here you can hack to get some clearance. There could be batteries in the movie theater or in that room right there. I like to hug that computer wall because you can see the icon of the battery on the other side of the wall. So that's why I like to hug the wall. There could be computers clearance over there on those computers. And then we go into the table rooms basically. So the rooms over here, well, not actually, that's the other side. This is the biostock and for preservation area. I'll check up here. You don't have to, if you have clearance, you could just open the door and go there, but you can also check if the battery's in that room if you just stand on the outside of the other side of the window, and you'll be able to see if the battery's in there or not. That's a good check for sure. Anyways, and then we just do another circle. Right now we're just at half a circle right now around the whole area, and we check this room here. See nothing, don't hear anything. Check this desk for some batteries or security tags or computers. So survey drum, of course, very annoying to deal with. And then we go back into the other side. This is the 180 of the movie theater. Check for a computer, which there is a computer there, luckily. And then you can see a battery icon through the wall. Like I said, stand next to it. Always check. Even though you don't see a computer there, just still walk next to it. You'll maybe find a battery on the other side of the wall. Now we have another battery over here. And then we're going to go to the last area of this route, the table area. There's a lot of security tags. There's going to be batteries as well. If you don't have clearance to open these doors, there's a vent on the right side over there. You can go under this area and go to the other side. You don't need clearance to go through this route. You can just do it on one. And here we don't find that much batteries, but we do get some tags here and there. Now, what we do is we head to revival. So we backtrack a little bit. And we go ahead and head to Revival. Revival is a good spot for batteries and a bunch of clearance as well. And because heading to Revival is that the exit is going to Vault 1. That's the route. So like it's a good area to just check out if there's anything good. We also clearance 3. which we can now open up these doors here, which usually has a battery or security tags. If not, then whatever. So it's a good shout to go to. And then we make our way towards Revival, like so. And like I said, there is usually a good amount of batteries, good amount of clearance in this area. And like I said, it leads towards Vault 1, right? Another battery behind here. And I think we're about like 11 batteries already in the first 7 minutes. So I think we're doing pretty good here. You see here, we scan. Got some batteries, a battery in here. You don't really need anything above 3, but 4 is nice if you're doing Vault 6, of course. But I don't think this run does Vault 6. If you want to get to the compiler, then yeah, you want to do Vault 4 as your last vault to get that fast track, basically. So now we're at Vault 1, basically. So Vault 1 here is, you know, only 5. You only need 5 batteries. That's it. 5 batteries. It tells you on the top right, 5 batteries. Once you have 5 batteries, the person with the key can go ahead and open it up. Now, when it comes to grinding, you know, this event, you want to have the person who picks up the key at the beginning is the one that opens the vault. So they're the ones that runs around the map, and they're the ones that should be the only ones needed to finish the vault. You don't need 3 people or 2 people to finish the vault. It doesn't really make it does make it faster, but the time spent there could be spent finding batteries and getting cryo pods, as you need cryo pods for Vault 2 or Vault 5 or Vault 6, right? So here is the route to really get this one done as fast as possible. But it's Vault 1 and Vault 2 are the very first vaults, and they don't require any thinking at all, as they don't have random panels. It's all the same symbols. You can't mess it up, and you can't really, it doesn't matter at all for the most part. So you get the first 3, one on the left, one on the right, and then one at the bottom by shooting the ice, I don't know, frost vent closer. I don't know what you call it. Anyways, so you drop down, shoot the thing, and then you have the third one. That is right there, Vault 1. Now, when it comes to the next vault, it's going to be either Vault 5 or Vault 3. This one we're going to do and show you guys the route here for after doing Vault 1. You're going to go ahead and we're going to do Vault 5. Vault 5 requires a Cryo Pod. Cryo Pods can be found in Preservation and sometimes sprinkled around some other areas as a random drop. But since we are going from Vault 1, we can just straight up use this route here to get a free, fully charged up or fully filled Cryo Pod from Steerage. This route right here from Vault 1 is the best route and easiest route to follow. You just go to the vent and then you just go down the hallway for Vault 4 is. You need clearance 3 for this, of course. By now, after getting Vault 1 does give you +3 clearance and maybe a security tag in there. You should be Vault 3 or clearance 3, probably most likely at this point. There should be sometimes a battery here and maybe a computer in that room. Like you see in this corner here, we have a full coolant. Now from here, we're going to go to Vault 5. It is not that far from here and it's pretty quick to do for the most part. So that is pretty good on that sense. So this one, we don't take the same route we exit. We take a different route. We open up this door. That's clearance 2. A chance for a battery to be down here, which helps a lot. And then another chance for a battery to be on the left over here, which there is a battery there. So now I'm going to go ahead and now head over to control using the third, the clearance 3 door, because it's a chance for a battery to be in here, or maybe even 2 batteries. And then we're going to go ahead and now traverse and head over to vault number 5. Now, enemies can drop batteries in their in the backpack or in their bag, but it's still a rare chance, and I think it's a waste of time doing that, so I don't do it that often. Now, we're going to go ahead and do vault number 5. Vault number 5 is pretty common. I mean, I don't know what are the weights, the odds of getting either vault 3 or vault 5 as your second vault. It's either or, but you get vault 5 a lot. But as long as you can, get the cryo, pod that's filled already from clearance 3, then that's pretty quick. And just going from Vault 1 to Vault 5, you most of the time. Of course, you do need the clearance though for this vault. If you have the upgrade, you just skip that. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean by clearance or credentials. So just in case, if you don't know, if you don't have the upgrade, the credentials is the Warden. It could be found either in the top there when you use a scanner, it'll scan. And you can either find it in that room or the room below it or opposite of it of control. So you go in that room, pick it up. You can fight the warden or you could just hide and then disable the barriers. But up to you. You want to do about that. Your best to open your map and then have a ping on it so you can navigate towards it. As long as you scan it with the scanners outside. If you know, pick it up, it gives you the credentials. The boss doesn't. Killing the boss doesn't do anything in terms of, you know, making it active, but you cannot escape until like maybe like 2 or 1 minute. So you just have to wait it out or just kill the boss. But if you're doing this solo or playing other people, that's like trying to just get this fast. I mean, if you're doing it fast, by the time you probably have to, people have to upgrade already. You don't need to do this boss anymore, but you could just escape eventually. So here's an example. Like, see, like the boss is still alive. I'll just go over here again. And then it is available to just disarm. And then if you're lucky enough that the boss has to shoot you, you just escape with the credentials in your inventory and just go do Vault 5 again. Or go to Vault 5 and do that pretty much. So Vault 5 right here, very simple vault. Done it many times, obviously. I will show you guys what it looks like. And the spots of where all the panels are is one you probably do it a lot. These ghosts will spawn. I mean, four ghosts always spawn either inside or outside. For Vault 5, 2 spawns outside, 2 spawns inside. So there is that. All right, so the symbol, as you walk in, this is the symbol you look for. You do it 3 of the same panels. If you do make a mistake, it will reset. You have to redo the all the options of a different symbol possibly. So you can find the symbols. One, if you walk down the stairs there, you can jump up from here into the one to the top or the one in the mid over there. And we're going pretty fast here, I guess, but you can see they're all just next to each other for the most part. Like nothing too crazy. And there's only 1 down there. So there's like 1 at the very top, 2 in the middle, and then kind of like 2 at the bottom-ish here and there. Nothing too crazy. But you do gotta shoot the green thing to remove the ice in order to interact with the bottom one, basically. So here's like the practical way of like doing it for the most part. So for example, if we were to redo this one, so right now I gotta get splat, so I see the one down there. So I'm gonna claim this one here, right? Open this one up. And then the next one I have is on the roof, or I could go to the bottom here. Not the correct one, this one, but it is from this one. You can go up, and then I can go up from here for that. Okay, well, I suck too, but yeah, that works out at the same time. Cool. You know what I mean. You know, that jump is wonky. I mean, there's a correct way to do it. I think you have to go up like a vent or something, or a ladder. I don't know, something weird, but this is a lot easier to check. And then this one people gets lost a lot. It's just, you can go down from here, and then there's the one in the middle. It's like a middle-ish area. But yeah, it's not that bad. Vault 5 is pretty easy to do, and yeah, so there is that. Do need about, was it 5 batteries, something like that? 5 batteries. It tells you how much you need. 6 batteries. I'll put in the description what you need, but other than that, very good. Now let's go over Vault 4. So Vault 4, if you don't have the upgrade to skip the credentials, you have to get the Colonist credentials, which is in this area, which makes this routing like the fastest route. Like Vault 1, Vault 5, and Vault 4 is your best way to get a compiler run, the fastest way. Okay, as they're all right next to each other and they don't require that much, as you can get the Cryo Pod at the very beginning, and you can get for Vault 5, and then you get this Colonist. If you don't have the upgrade, if you have the upgrade, you skip this part, of course. But if you're in this area over here, you need to get the Colonist thing. It drops from you. It flies around this area. You pick it up, you get the file, and then you have to head over to the Panopticon. The Panopticon, which is not that far up from where we were. You do need obviously clearance 3 to enter the top room. And then you have to go ahead and just put it in and then get the credentials from it. So it's very simple to do. You head to the top over here, right? and then you open the door, and 2 commanders spawn at the very top here. Just be careful of the lasers, of course. I kind of messed up my own setup here. So you're gonna kill the 2 ghost commanders, I guess that's what they're called. And then once you do that, you do need 1 battery for this, but most of the time in the Panopticon there is a free battery to pick up. So you can see here, there's a battery right there. There's also computers for clearance, but you head over here, you put the battery in here, and then you go ahead and you put the file in there. And then you have to kill, we have to survive, but you do want to kill them because they're going to be annoying. There'll be 1 commander and a bunch of other ghosts and 1 recruit. So there's that. And then the commander, you can just ignore it, but you can pick up the thing pretty instantly, the credentials. But I just want to go ahead and hide. And then we're going to leave towards the Vault 4. Vault 4 is not that far from here, which is great. It's pretty much the same path you take towards the steerage Cryo Pod. So it's the same thing. You're going to just run down here, basically. And you're going to go into the vents. And you're pretty much there at that point. You need 6 batteries for this and the credentials. That's all you need, as it tells you right there on top right, which is that tooltip on the top right has been very useful in knowing what to do, except for Vault 6 as it gets bugged out. But anyway, so put the 6 batteries in, and then we're gonna go ahead and do Vault 6 or Vault 4, whatever it's called. All right, so here's how it goes. Look at the symbol on the top on the right there. You can shoot the green thing if you want. You check here, you go down 2, 3, and then you run over here, and then there should be 1 more over here, and that's it, pretty much. Very simple stuff. You also there's a vent here. You can exit if you want instead of touching the ice, but you have to shoot the ice or the thing. It won't let you put that panel. So there's 2 panels on the bottom that doesn't let you use it if it's frozen. Or you know. I don't know, or you do the vent either or. I mean, it's a bit wonky getting in here. You just slide into it and then you go there. So instead of going around, you can do this too. But you do have to, like I said, you do have to shoot the thing in order to use that one. So there's only 4 panels in here, so not that bad. Make sure you don't get the wrong one, or it resets each time. So there's that. All right, so for this one, now we're going to be starting with Vault 2. Of course, the spawns are random, of course, but this one, I forget what we're in. We're in an area which this is the route I always take to avoid the commander and snipers to just, snipe you across on the bottom. But usually up here, there could be security tags here and there. And then since I'm playing solo, I'll just cheese it and just exit out without being spotted, basically, from everybody else. Now, this one, you need empty crowd. The odds of you getting clearance 3 quickly, I mean, it's not impossible. You don't have to do you don't have to, like, do the vaults right away, of course. But I will say that for getting Vault 2 first, I recommend just doing it like it intends you to do. So it wants you to go to preservation. So we are spawned actually in Biostock, which is a pretty good spawn because, well, it's right next door. But I know most of the time what I do is I just go to the route, in control. I go to the bottom and run around in a circle, and then I do all that basically. So to get a bunch of batteries and a bunch of clearance here and there, right? That's still the plan. To even doesn't matter if it's a Vault 1 start or a Vault 2 start. It's all the same start for me, by just doing the control route on the bottom floor and then make my way around the game, around the map, basically, right? So what we do is, we get to at least clearance 2, and then we make our way towards preservation, and we pick up at least 2 cryo pods. We do our rounds, and we make our way to preservation. The reason why we pick up 2 cryo pods is because the chance when we pick up or we do Cryo 2 is a chance that we might do Cryo 5 after, or we might do Cryo 6 after Cryo 4 or 3 or whatever. And you need a Cryo Pod for 6 and you need a Cryo Pod for 5, right? So for Vault 2, you need a battery, 5 batteries and a Cryo Pod or Cryo Coolant, whatever it's called. So in this area of preservation, there's at least like 3 of them spawns. You pick up 2, or there's also they spawn on the tables over here, basically on second floor. Now for me, for this route, what I like to do after preservation, I have to go up the stairs, and there is going to be computers and maybe some batteries on the other side of this area over here. Now preservation, it's a great area too. It has a bunch of batteries and computers. Just gotta find them. And also the connected area from preservation is revival. And revival, as I say, is a very good spot. So I recommend that. So I would like to sometimes scan that as well. But there's also sometimes batteries in this area that will help you get some more. So I check around. Nothing there. Nothing there. But you can see there's a battery in here. It's like maybe some security tags, some batteries here and there in this connecting area from preservation to revival. And this is all the route I like to take for this. Now I'm in revival, and usually in revival there is a lot of computers and batteries, so take it as it is. So exiting revival from where Vault 1 is normally is, we've now reached clearance level 3. You can see lots of computers and this room over here, get some tags and some more batteries in these rooms here. So do double check these rooms for sure. It does, it's good time saver. So with the cryopods, there's 2 areas you could go to. There's biostock, or there is control. Control is the better area to go to. Biostock is way too deep in to do it. So I recommend if you want to fill these pods, head over here down under Panopticon in control, and you'll be able to fill up these pods. It costs 1 battery to turn on the machine. You put the pod in and you wait for it to fill up. You can see it with the bar there. And once you do that, do the second one, and then you have 2 cryopods filled up just in case you need it for another future vault in the same run, basically. All right, so that's what the prep we do. Now it's only been 7 minutes. We have 2 cryopods and like 9 batteries in our inventory, and we're going to find more batteries as we run through it, as we're going through. Now we're going to do the vaults now. So now we're going to head over to Vault 2, which is not that far from where we are. Vault 2, you have to go ahead to the second floor of control on this half of the map. So usually what I do is I run up here and I go up the stairs. This is the fastest way up, basically. There's a ladder you can take. I think the ladder is okay too. Not a bad option, but it does put you into the boss arena area, which might be the ice one, which is a bit annoying, obviously. I think this one pushes me off. Yeah, that happens, I guess. So entering biostock, which is where Vault 2 is, we're going to go ahead and now, put the cryopod in and 4 batteries. It's 5 batteries in total because you need to use the battery to charge up the machine for the cryopod. So it's 5 batteries and 4 for the machine. 4 over here, so it's just a cryopod. So that's it pretty much. So Vault 2 is very easy. Same thing as Vault 1. There is no actual mistakes you could do. It is all just the same. Only 3 panels, all the same symbols. So you're just gonna go ahead. You can make this jump from anywhere. You could use that vent path, or you could use whatever path. You do have to shoot the green thing at least 1 time to get the one on the very bottom. So there's one in the middle here, and then you drop down to the left over here. And this can only be this panel can only be interacted if you have shot the frost thingy. And then the last one, you just go up the ladder, and that's it for Vault 2. Now from here, we are going to be doing Vault 3, as in this same run we got Vault 3 for our session, I guess you could say. So Vault 3 is one of the more annoying ones to do, because you do need the credentials. If you don't have the upgrade, the credentials for one of the other bosses, other wardens. This one only spawns in one of the outer zones that has not been well, usually in Cryo, there's 4 teams, and each team spawns in their own area. But there is one area or 2 areas that don't have people in it, and that will have the spawn for the boss. In order to find the boss easily, you have to use the scanners around the map, just like the one in, next to Revival there. That is the other one for Vault 5. So you have to go around the map and scan. The more clearance levels you have, the bigger the scan is. And from what I can tell you, for having clearance level 3, if you're using the scans around control, around the second floor, you can have a good chance for it to spot it. So at least having clearance level 3 and then using these scans around the map will give you a good chance to find it. So here's an example of that here. So you can see here we are on the control second floor still, and you can see we have a scanner that you might see all the time. We're at level 3. We scan this. You can see now on our map, you can see now it's 100 meters, 200 meters away in index. So it is the first room you spawn in an index. So that is not always, if that's random. It's random, but you have to scan to find it. You can find it by accident. Usually the indicator of it being a boss room is that it will have turrets that spawn in, or the red barrier is up for the room. Most areas don't have that because that's just people will have them unlocked. But for this one, it's gonna have the red barrier usually open up when you first spawn in for the first time, basically. So right now, I'll show you guys an example here of what it looks like when you head over to there. Similar to Vault 5, you don't have to kill the boss to finish, or not finish, but kill the boss to, what do you call it, to get it done. You could just straight up just hide for like a minute and then escape by using pulling down the door basically, tabling the barrier. I guess that's words. I don't know, my words ain't coming out right now. But yeah, so you pick up the thing and then you could just hide. Like for example, like I said here, the turrets, for example, they just spawn in. These turrets are not usually there at the very beginning of the game. They spawn because of the boss is there. Make sure you track or you ping where the credentials are, because you don't see them that easily. And then enemies will spawn in, and then you just gotta hide, basically. I just hide all the time. So you can see I'm just sneaking around, just hiding from the boss. And then I just, disable it, and that's it. You keep the credentials, you got to go. Now let's go ahead and head over to Vault 3. Now obviously, if you're just going from Vault 2 to Vault 3, they're not that far from each other. They're just at the opposite side. One's in biostock, other one's in preservation, so the route towards them isn't that crazy, to be honest with you. But obviously you can go from Vault 1 to Vault 3. It is random, but to me, it doesn't feel like it, but it seems to be weighted more of like Vault 1 to Vault 5 to Vault 4, but it can be different, obviously. So there is that, right? So let me show you guys what we do at Vault 3. So of course, for Vault 3, you need 5 batteries and the credentials, and that's pretty much it. No Cryo Pod needed. All you need is just the credentials and the 5 batteries. That's it. So make sure the person with the key is there, and the person with the credentials has it in their inventory. Of course, you don't have to, not everybody has to be, not everyone has to, not the person doesn't have to have it all on themselves. It could be multiple people, but it is much easier to have it on one person. Doing so that they can see the sound cues and the prompts to do everything pretty much, of course. So let's go ahead and show you guys Vault 3. All right, so Vault 3, you check the symbol at the front. And there's only 4 panels. Similar as that, you make a mistake, it'll redo it. So there's one down there. Check down there if there's it there, and you can drop down to this very white spot. Check down that corner. There's one over there. You can shoot the green thing here, and you have another one up there. And so of course the one in the very back right corner you saw at the very beginning, you obviously need to have that shot in order to interact with it. But it's only 4 panels, nothing too complicated with this one. You just gotta go and check all 4 spots and then just make your path forward, basically. And then you're good to go for the most part. Lots of ladders, lots of verticality for this one. That's for sure, but it's very simple for the most part, so that's good. And then that is how many volts we did. 5 volts we just did. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to be doing 6, and then we're going to do the compiler vault 7 technically for that one. So we'll show you guys the route and how it goes for the most part. Well, not routes, but just the way we do it, I guess, the best way to say it. And then the entrance to Vault 3, it is, where is that? It go up the ladder, I'm pretty sure. And I think it's just this path right here. And that's it. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about Vault 6. All right, Vault 6, the fun one. So Vault 6 requires a Cryo Pod, 11 batteries, an antivirus, and a code in Secret Labs. If you don't have the upgrade, then you need to do that. If you have the upgrade, skip that part. Once you pick up a fully charged Cryo Pod, you can go ahead and head over to Secret Labs, or you have an icon on your screen that tells you where it is. You don't have to find it yourself. You can just go ahead, and once somebody has a Cryo Pod, it tells you where to go. Both areas requires antivirus. Antivirus is a buff or an item you can find on the map. It is like a buff, like one of those, like a mechanics kit or a OS hack, object or item that you can find around that. You can find them on enemies. You can find them in, foot lockers, portfolios, all that stuff. Most likely on an enemy is your best bet in finding those, basically. And so Secret Labs is located in Preservation and Biostock. It is in between the first 2 areas. So the second area is where you exit to control. The first area is where you spawn in for the first time, and you clear out the commander to go to the second area. It is in between the traversal areas of both of them, basically, and it's up this giant ladder. Of course, once you like I said, if you have the icon first, the little lab symbol, beaker symbol there, then you can go ahead and just follow that and head towards that pretty much. You will need security clearance 4 for this as well. Very important. So make sure you're grinding and getting those computers, making sure everybody else is running on the map and getting those computers as well. So here in Biostock, we're going to go ahead and show you guys what you need to do. So like I said, it is in the traversal area between both of them. So this is on the right side or left side facing towards control. It's gonna be a ladder. Preservation is the same thing, the very opposites. It mirrors the size. There's gonna be a ladder on the other side, on the other wall. You're gonna go ahead and now get your antivirus is only for 2 minutes. You can have it active, so make sure you're not wasting time, because you do need anti when you're going to go up to Vault 6 as well. So I do remind you that very useful. So go ahead and use it. It's the green looking thing, and it puts you for 2 minutes in this area. You can see on the right side, bottom right, how your buff is, the timer, and on the left side also another bar above your health bar is your anti meter. Now in this area, you're not going to see it, but there's going to be a code right here. So here is what it should look like. You're going to have 3 symbols here. So it goes from left to right. So the one on the left, one at the top, and the one on the right. That is the order of where you need to input it when you're up at Secret Labs. So for example, these are the symbol names. This is what they call them. So U, Splat, or X, and then skeleton or spine, whatever. There is trumpet or skull, and then other one is what's the other one? There's one more. Is there one more? I don't remember, but it's not that bad. People have all these callouts for it, but yeah, it's not that bad. So memorize that, take a screenshot of it if you can, and yeah, you're gonna input it later in the run. So after getting that symbols, you're gonna go ahead and try to head over back to control. There's 2 elevators. There's the same things, one on either side. It is located in those boss rooms. The wardens like a spawn in one of the rooms each run for Vault 5. It's just it requires clearance 3 to head up there, but of course you should have clearance 3 by now if you open up Secret Labs, unless you don't need to do it with the upgrade, whatever, you know what I mean. Anyways, so you're gonna go ahead and head up the elevator. This is where you need to have your anti again, in order to go ahead and survive up there. Now there's a little strat I like to do. So if you're playing in a crew and not everybody has antivirus, then of course what you can do is you can just turn it off. That's why it says it requires 8 batteries, but 11 batteries to survive in that area. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and with clearance 4, open the door, and you can disarm the doors to enter into secret labs, or not secret labs, the lab, I guess, secret lab, I don't know, or into labs, I don't know, whatever, whatever, the lab. And for me, since I'm playing either on destroyer or whatever, you can sneak your way in without, you don't need invisibility. You just gotta go slow, don't run. Bots don't like it when you run, just like Destiny 2. When you run, enemies aggro on you. If you just crouch and you sneak, because sneaking is part of the game, you can head over to the door to turn off anti for your team, and then they can come in after. Of course, there's going to be a turret here, which is a bit annoying, but if you go invisible, you can just go ahead and input the batteries in here, and then you can just remove the antivirus field, and then you can just survive together and disable the anti-meter, basically. And that's pretty much it. Now then, so that being said, since I'm playing solo, it's a bit awkward, but for me, since I'm playing Assassin or Void, the vault is behind this, not behind the door, it's behind the opposite, 180. So I'm just going to super or use my prime ability and put the Cryo Pod in, and you're going to need 8 or 7 batteries. Here, like we need 7 batteries. There was already a battery in it already, apparently. And you just have to go ahead and slowly put this in. Now, the Warden is still alive. You don't have to kill the Warden, but the Warden is very hard to kill. Normally, if you play Cryo, normally, like, oh, I killed the Warden so fast. Well, that's because you have golden shields, golden bully, golden Mizraya, golden implants, golden cores. It gets melted easily. But in this mode, that thing just doesn't die half the time. So there's that. But we get lucky, we found a core that gives us more invisibility on the clock. So I would wait for my cooldowns to come back up and I just go back invisible and put the batteries in here and there. So it's not that hard to do, but it is a bit harder solo. But I do recommend either just going slow or killing the boss together for Vault 6 for the most part. So I just go ahead and just go back invisible, and I just put things in the batteries in there. The Cryo Pod in there already, and then nothing to scan. Just gotta open the vault with the key. There's that. That's for without the upgrade. With the upgrade, without the upgrade. So now you put the symbols in order. So whatever what the order was, you have to go and interact with it. So the first one on the left, and then the one at the top will be the one, the second one, and then the third one you input. Make sure you're not doing it at the same time, because it's not instant. It takes time for it to be input into it. But then once you get all of it correct, then you go ahead and put the key into the vault. You can see how the real progress right there at the top right of screens. If it's correct, it's correct. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It depends if your teammate doesn't know the exact order, but you gotta remember the symbols, and that's pretty much it. All right, so when entering the vault, your symbols right there on the right, you're gonna enter. You're gonna take a right. You're gonna have 1 there, and then there's gonna be 2 up here. So you're gonna take a left, and you're gonna see 1 there, and then you're gonna go straight ahead, and you're gonna drop down, not all the way down. There's gonna be 1 there, and then there's gonna be a button or a green thing to shoot down here, and it'll be 1 behind you, and then it'll be 1 to the right, and that's all 5 symbols right there. So 2 at the top, or 3 at the top, 1 to the left, 2 on the right. You don't drop all the way to the bottom, and then there's 2 at the bottom, very, very bottom, shooting the that. So it's not that hard. Quite a bit of symbols, of course, but it's just 2 down and 3 at the top, basically. That's it. Very, very simple stuff. Very, 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 very simple stuff. So another example here. So you just don't fall all the way to the bottom. Pretty much, just that's it. That's all. That should be all though. I'm pretty sure. That's Vault 6 right there. So now let's talk about the Vault 7. This is after doing 3 vaults in total. You will, no matter what, it'll give you a DNA access card to pick up. This requires you to do some extra steps that normally you wouldn't do for the other vaults, but you do need 11 batteries in total for this, or just 8 batteries if you. It depends, because sometimes you can go into Vault 4 to Vault 7 or Vault 6 to Vault 7. Vault 6, you already put in 3 batteries to into the antivirus thing. But if you don't do that from Vault 4, then you have to do 11 anyways. So, but it is what it is. So depending where you are, that doesn't matter, but any area you pick, it doesn't matter. So for me, I'm coming out of Vault 4. I'm going to steerage because it's right next to me, and you gotta go ahead and just use the DNA sample and put it into the machine. The machines are in the same spots every time. You gotta remember where they are. If you're always doing steerage, then you should know exactly where it is. So first, this one, it is just this machine here. You're gonna go ahead and put in the DNA sequence, and with this part, all you do is just run away and just hide for a minute, basically, and that's it. Listen for it when it ends. You can hear like the microwave noises it makes, and just wait it out and pick it up when it's ready to be picked up, basically. So about a minute later, it should be done, and you're gonna go ahead and pick it up from the machine, basically. And when you hover over it, or you could look at it from the ground, it will give you a sequence of 4 letters. Now, before putting in the machine, you want to write it down, type it somewhere, or take a screenshot of it. Nowhere else to see it once you put it in the machine. Now, what you need to do now is open your map and look for the DNA sequencer icon, which is the hourglass, or the DNA symbol, I guess. It looks like hourglass, but DNA symbol, ping it or track it, and then you're gonna head over there. No matter, it's random each time. You just gotta put it. You choose where you want to go first, and then it'll give you a random location, and you gotta just go run towards that next new POI area, basically. And this one takes you a little bit more effort in memorizing and all that stuff for this part. Okay, so before you put it in, hover over it. For me, this code is AGCT. Different every time. And look for these in these, like, panels around this area. You have to go ahead and find them. It's a bit annoying to do. When you scan them, it doesn't lock you in, so you can just walk away after you press the button one time, so you're not that scary. But enemies will keep respawning over and over and over again. It is at a infinite spawn, so you keep killing them, it's not gonna do anything. So you just gotta kill them and hope that your teammates are helping, or you're getting them done, basically. Playing assassin does help a little bit, as you can just interact with it while being invisible. But you have to remember where they are. Remember the code sequence, of course. So there's that, right? So the first one in this room, what is this room? I forget. It's cargo or index. I don't remember. But you can see that there's always one panel. They're not that far away from the original spot, but there's always one that's like far away. And the first one we picked up is the one that's far away. So you gotta just keep that in mind, that there is one that's always like in an odd spots, pretty much. Your best bet is to not put it in, clear the ads before doing it, and then put it in after, because there's no ads would be spawning as long as you clear the room. Then you can look for all the 4 spots, all the panels early on, and then you could just do it after and clear the ads, pretty much. So it's pretty difficult to do by yourself, but playing assassin, just go invisible, wait for cooldowns, and then just get the correct symbol or correct letter. And it's very simple when that is the case there. So once you do all 4 symbols in the correct order of what you written down, then you can go ahead and now head towards Vault 7, or back up to the labs, basically. So there we go. You pick that up. Make sure you don't forget the file in the thing. It should kill some ads here and there if you do that. And now you're going to head over to the elevator. Similar to Vault 6, everything happens up there. Like, you need 11 batteries to go ahead and do this Vault 7, basically. So up the elevator, all you need is 11 batteries and just the credentials, I guess you could say. You only need nothing else. And this run I did, which I might upload as a single thing, going in solo compiler, I thought I needed a Cryo Pod, which wasted about 2 minutes. So I would have like extra time in the compiler. Obviously, I didn't kill the compiler because I'm not doing that unless I have like 20 minutes in there. So same thing as Vault 6. You just disarm this so that you can enter the labs, and then you're gonna go ahead and disable the anti-barrier thing, which is needed for inputting or opening up Vault 7's entryway to the vault door to put in the batteries. It's a bit different than Vault 6, of course. So You're gonna head inside here. You head to the door, and put in the 3 batteries, of course. And then you're gonna disable it with the button next to it, the corruption field. And then you're gonna go ahead, enter the door. You're gonna go ahead and put the vial in, and then you wait. Now the warden, if you don't kill the warden, is gonna be around. Good luck with that. To save time, I ignore it. You can ignore it for the most part, especially playing assassin. Maybe everybody plays assassin, maybe a little bit easier, possibly. The windows will break open, so you can kind of just kite the enemies around. And then I just use my alt to just put the batteries in. It's gonna be 8 batteries for me. It had 7 or 1 already in it, so it saved us some time there for not needing to have all the batteries. So that's helpful. There are batteries that can spawn up in labs. Maybe 2 or 1 batteries, or even 3 batteries could be up here. So, but I wouldn't risk it though. But there is always a battery in here, so don't be too like worried about, oh, I need 1 more battery. But there should be always a battery in there. And then you scan the credentials, and then the door. Make sure you open the vault. Don't just walk to the door. You have to press a button for it. And then there, the normal climb up there, yada yada yada. I'm not here to show you guys how to beat the compiler. I mean, it's not that hard to do, but you need time to do it. Obviously, this is solo, and if I didn't get the Cryo Pod, I have a little bit more time to run up here. But of course, at the end of the day, it is difficult to do, even as solo. It has been done before, I'm pretty sure. But that is with a full kit, gold loadout of gold bully, Mizraya, bubble shields, a lot of stuff. That is all prepped by bringing it in from this run, but this is all random loot, so it's a bit difficult to do this solo. At least I'm sure people are trying to do it. I bet there is, but I'm not skilled enough to do that. Obviously, that is for sure. So all good. Once you reach up this area, there's all the tech nests. You can break them if you want to. There is an exfil if you feel like you can kill the compiler or want to leave whenever you want. If not, open up the airlock, and then you head inside and fight the compiler. Basically, the compiler, the way the fight works is that there is a bunch of symbols you've been seeing around the map for doing all the vaults. Your team has to do 3 of the same ones. Doesn't matter. There's all the symbols are there. Doesn't matter. There's no 2 or 1. There's always 3 of each of them in there. Then you stand in the middle with the green orb, shoot the chests, and then keep shooting. You'll break the chest open and then keep shooting, and then rinse and repeat until you kill the compiler. And that's pretty much it. That's all the vaults. Hopefully, it's a long video, but they should all be time stamped, and you should be able to go to the information of whatever is important to you regarding the vaults. And I mean, this video can be useful not for just the PvE, but it could also be useful for just solving the vaults on its own in normal cryo, as I did go over, not just having the upgrades, but also the wardens and the colonist credentials and all that stuff is still in the video. So hopefully it is useful at the end of the day. And that's it. Okay.